Hey everyone, Mucklick Douglas Bartholomew Reginald Esquire IV here, and this is a guide to the Boneskinner Strike Mission. For those who don't know, a Strike Mission is 10-man content that is meant to be an introduction to raids. You can get loot from strikes once per day instead of once per week, like raids, and you get bonus loot if you kill the boss within a certain amount of time. Additionally, at the time of making this guide, strikes are one of the best ways to get ascended gear. How to get there? Originally, the Boneskinner shared an instance with Voice of the Fallen and Claw of the Fallen, aka the Polar Bears, and Freyneir of Jormag. These three strike battles would occupy the same room and rotate which one was there each week, so every third week would have the Boneskinner. With Eye of the North, which every level 80 character with Path of Fire and Icebrute Saga has access to, you can access all strike missions at any time regardless of their normal rotation. Gather a group of your allies or use the LFG tool at the top left and find yourself a group for Boneskinner, or make one if necessary and use the portal in Eye of the North to instantly access the Boneskinner. Once there, make sure you hit the pylon until you have the buff. You will need Resilience Essence Manipulation for this. It is not required for the fight, but it helps a lot. Recommended group composition: 3 healers minimum for a pug. A pug is a pick-up group, for those of you that don't know. The mechanics for this fight are very simple, but require some very strong healing numbers. You can even use 4 healers and just have a very slow, easy kill, but if you use 1 or 2 healers, there is a strong chance of failure. With a pug, I mean. Calm down, static groups in full ascended, this is a training video. At this time, this is one of the most challenging strikes, the other being Whisper of Jormag, which we already have a guide on if you need it, in the guides playlist on this channel and in the description. Seriously, those guys are amazing. 10 out of 10, would recommend. Beyond the healing requirement, here are a few good to have but not required recommendations. A Banner Warrior, a Ranger with Spirits, can be a Druid healing the party or a DPS Ranger. If one of the healers is a support Necromancer, they work great on this fight. Some quickness from Firebrands or Chronos, and Alacrity from Chronos or Renegades. Now, the way this fight was probably intended to be done is that the Boneskinner periodically extinguishes the torches around the room, and he has a powerful damage aura that grows as the lights go out. People can run over and relight the torches. This usually results in them dying to other mechanics far away from the group, and everything falls apart. Most groups simply heal through the aura damage and ignore the torches entirely. Make sure everyone is ready and run in and stack up on one point. Engage the boss. His first move is usually a breath, the cone attack. Dodge roll to the side if it is directly aimed on top of you, or you won't step out of it in time. We are going to rotate to our left anytime we have to move. Next is a move you will see a lot during the fight. He raises his front right arm and a circle appears under every player. A second later, the circle becomes a deadly puddle. This is a major mechanic, and here's why. If one dum-dum is not stacked with the group, he will make his puddle in another location. It's even worse if that person has moved ahead of your group and is now placing traps in your path. The other reason is that there are other mechanics in this fight that you don't have to dodge that use the circles under your feet to aim them. Instead of staring at the circles, stare at his arm. When he raises that front right arm, step left. This way you don't move for a dud circle, then possibly, accidentally, make a death puddle in a bad location. Now, when he rears up on his hind legs, prepare to interrupt. If you have the Essence Manipulation Mastery, prepare to hit your special action button. If nearly all 10 of you interrupt with everything you have, you will stun him and he will take increased damage for 5 seconds. If you do not understand interrupting bosses or break bars, we do have a guide for that in the same playlist mentioned earlier. As soon as he is stunned, if you have anyone with pull type abilities, such as a Necromancer's Spectral Grasp, which is perfect for this, run out and pull any adds in the room over to the group so they can be killed. It seems to be a requirement to hit or kill some adds to recharge your special action button. Note, even if you get your special action ability to pop up when it isn't time to interrupt the boss, do not use it then. It will likely not recharge before you need it for the next boss interrupt. Just save it till you need it. Note number 2. If you fail to interrupt the boss once, it is highly likely you will not interrupt him again successfully in the fight. It is believed to be a bug that once you fail the interrupt process one time, many people do not get the special action key again for the rest of the encounter. This happens to me quite often. If we fail one, I don't see it again the remainder of the fight. However, for you new folks, interrupting him is not required to kill him, it just helps. His next attack, he will crouch, leap up into the air, and a vacuum will pull players toward the middle. Do not panic and run around all over the place, this will just make death puddles everywhere. Step back to where you were just a moment ago, watch the red circle fill the room. When it's about to hit the edges of the room, dodge roll and you will avoid the damage of the boss crashing down again. He will periodically charge to the edge of the room. If his charge goes through a player, it will do heavy damage. Afterward, he will leap back to the middle, and just like the last ability, dodge roll to avoid the impact damage. He will then cycle through these abilities on repeat. Move out of the cone breath, move out of the circles when he raises his arm. Ignore the individual circles, have someone pull in ads so they don't get out of control, save special action key plus any interrupts you have for the stun phase. After he leaps and vacuums you in, step back to where you were standing before the vacuum, then dodge roll the impact. After he runs away, dodge the impact when he returns, heal your party and get his health to 0 to win. A note on support Necromancer. Because the boss is doing constant sustained damage to the entire room, this is one of the only fights where HPS, that's healing per second, matters. Scourge barriers on the party will get used up with 100% efficiency almost every cast without you having to time them for best usage. Pulling downstate allies. If an ally goes down and you have an ability to pull them, such as Transfusion or Search and Rescue, do not pull them until after the next set of circles forces you to move. If you pull them to you, then the circles appear and you move out of them, they will die in the circle you left behind very quickly. Remember, since your team is stacked up, those puddles of death are stacked too, and they can be very lethal. Don't move unnecessarily. If you're too spread out, you will circle all the way around the boss to your oldest puddles before they disappear. Just move one step out of the breath or one step out of the circles when necessary. There's no need to move beyond that. And that's the fight. Once killed, up to 3 treasure chests will spawn. You get more loot if you kill him quickly enough to get the silver or gold rewards, and you can see those timers at the top right during the fight. The earlier mentioned Tier 2 Resilience Essence Manipulation Mastery is required to open some of the rewards. You will get some rewards even without the mastery. I myself did all the strike missions every day because of the great mastery XP they have, allowing me to finish all the masteries before I started getting the maximum amount of loot. If you have Tier 3 Manipulation, you get even more loot from the large chests. Here's what I get from one Boneskinner kill. Notice that Prophet shard near the end? Those started dropping with the Eye of the North edition. We can take those to the merchants in Eye of the North to buy Ascended gear. This is currently one of the easiest ways of getting Ascended gear in the game that I know of. Just do strikes each day and spend your shards here. And now you've mastered the Boneskinner. You're welcome. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like for the YouTube algorithm, comment if you have any questions for me or additional input, and subscribe if you would like to see more content. A special thank you to my newest Patreon supporters who help make this possible. My in-game name is muckluck.9082 if you need to reach me there, or talk to me live any evening on Twitch after 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Click the follow button there to be notified when I go live. That's it for today. Happy bone skinning.